She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my Fat Positive radio show.
Which didn't last long because she died.
So before you guys start writing your angry comments calling me fat phobic and saying that I'm one of those red pill guys who hates women, get to the end of the video because it's probably not going to be what you think. Or actually it might be. So in recent years, there's been something called the fat acceptance movement. And the goal of this movement has been to advocate for societal change and attitudes towards fat people, along with fighting for equal rights for them in all areas of life. Think for example, advocating for a clothing brand to make bigger sizes that accommodate for fat people. Or trying to change the culture that stigmatizes fat people for going to the gym, even though they're trying to change their lives.
Crazy ass intro. Hold on. That was a good intro. That shit caught me off guard. That's how you do an intro to a video.
One of those people at the gym who looks at fat people funny or makes them feel uncomfortable because they might be sweating a little harder or grunting a little harder because they're a little bit bigger, then you're the worst type of human being. You're actually a dickhead because you don't know how much effort it actually took that person to get up and try to change their lives. But what I'm here to talk about today,
all I'm gonna say, bro, is that some fat people are healthy. It's just that their body holds fat more than others. Some fat people are healthy. Sumo wrestlers, they're the healthy type of fat. You feel me? They're mostly muscle. They're that healthy type of fat. I'll say that. But that body positivity movement needs to stop. We already have an obesity problem. We have to fix it, right? We have to fix it. I get that people want to be accepted. I get that, but we need to fix this, please.
Is this new wave of content creators who are not only advocating for obesity, but they're glorifying it. Content creators like this.
If promoting obesity is what it takes to make other fat people feel hot, obviously I'm gonna do that. So yes, I am promoting obesity.
Shit like this. Shit like this is bad, bro. Shit like this is bad, bro. It's bad. It's bad.
Stay mad.
Shut your I don't know what happened, but I think the video cut off. I was gonna say fabulous. Okay, but no, seriously though, for a lot of people, food is an addiction. And notice how you don't see people going around saying, if promoting drug abuse is what's gonna make crackheads feel hot, of course I'm gonna promote drug abuse. But I'm not surprised at all because these plus-sized, big bone, big back, whatever else name they have for calling fat people, these fat content creators have started to become delusional.
Extra body weight causes, heart problems, diabetes. What do you say to that?
I think that the science isn't actually as clear-cut as we like to believe, and there's not really...
How do you go up against science? Yes, science may be wrong sometimes, but years and years of unproved... Look, before we even did research, people knew being big caused heart problems before we even did research. And once we did research, it only solidified the thought of it. My fault.
Quite a consensus yet about the real relationship between weight and health.
Aside from the fact that she's just straight up wrong, do you see the delusion in this? And honestly, if I was a morbidly obese person, I wouldn't need science to tell me that being obese negatively impacts my health. I mean, the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to run, or maybe being out of breath after climbing a few flights of stairs, being like 2 to 3 times the size of a regular.
Like, bro, I know somebody who's obese. I know somebody who's obese, right? Well, formerly was. And every time they used to walk, they used to be out of breath. Like there used to be this one big girl at my school, right? Really big, round, right? Every time she used to walk, she used to be out of breath. It could be like 3 steps out of breath, bro. It's bad.
Regular
it's
person,
bad. It's not
maybe
good.
not even being able to reach certain parts of my body because I'm so goddamn big.
I need his help a little bit to clean myself. Wiping. Just.
Yo, thank you for the RentJPG, my job. And call me. God,
I can't reach everything on my back, and I can't reach everything below me.
I wouldn't need any signs to know that I was unhealthy. And I mean, this guy's so bad that we even have doctors getting this.
But
96% of those participants in The Biggest Loser regained their weight because their brain worked well. It was supposed to bring them back to store what they needed or what the brain thinks it needs.
Hey guys, RentJPG here. Did you know that 85% of you guys aren't subscribed? What are you doing right now? Click that button and don't miss out on 2 to 3 videos a week. Let's get back into the video.
Out the window.
So you're saying that their brain, which correct me if I'm wrong, usually functions to help us survive, is telling them to get so big that they can barely move or do day-to-day activities? You see how that doesn't make sense? And I know one of you guys is gonna come through trying to make this argument.
I disagree because I believe in society, especially in America, we have this idea that, oh yeah, all fat people ate themselves that way, that they just sit at home and they're lazy and they don't do anything.
Not all fat people do that, bro. Like I said, some fat people body just hold fat.
And they ate themselves that way.
And bad at processing it.
They don't take into account people who have a disease. They don't take into account people who work out and their body is just built that way.
Someone, thin or fat, could be addicted to something, could have really high cholesterol or low bone density or too high of a resting heart rate. They might have a chronic illness or other autoimmune disease. Even, yes, thin people could have type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure.
And yeah, tomorrow I might get bit by a spider and turn into Spider-Man. Do you see how weak that argument is? Now, I'm sure there's probably a small population within the fat community that does suffer from these conditions, but I definitely don't think it's the majority. Most people are fat because of their life decisions. Bro. Now, I get it.
Samoans put on fat so easily. I had a Samoan homie, bro. Once he hit 30, like he used to be a skinny ass kid. Once he hit the age of 13, this nigga came to school. The first day of school, he was about 200 pounds, 5'11". My nigga, we was in the fucking 8th grade. Why the fuck was he 5 foot? Like he was tall and big. I don't know what, bro. I don't know what's in these Samoan cells, bro. But I need
women
that.
Who get pregnant and put on weight. We have people who get depressed and use food as a coping mechanism. And I'm not shaming any of those people. I just want us to operate in reality. These fat content creators are trying to convince us that whether you're fit or morbidly obese, you can still get sick and deal with the same illnesses. And no one denied that. All we're saying is that you being morbidly obese puts you at a higher
Okay, I see why he did. I see why he didn't want to rape me. I am watching something weird
risk
now.
of getting these illnesses. And trust me, I get it. Your body, your choice. But when I'm sitting next to you in that plane ride for 6 hours,
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. If I'm sitting next to somebody who is fucking big boned, who is fat, I'm gonna ask to change seats, cause I'm not. I won't be uncomfortable, but they're gonna take too much space. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Squished and I can't move my arms. At that point, I don't know. It just feels like it's starting to affect my choice too. And since we're on the topic of airplanes, we gotta talk about this petition that this fat content creator started.
I think every plus size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane. I'm on a mission to.
Why are you so big that you need 2 or 3 seats though? That is crazy. You should never be big to that point.
Revolutionize the travel industry and make it a more accessible, accepting, accommodating place for all.
She can't even fit through the door. She got turned sideways. That is crazy.
First of all, at the end of the day, an airline is a business. So for you to think that they're gonna give up 2-3 seat spaces up for free, newsflash, buddy, that ain't happening. And I hate how she's so comfortable trying to inconvenience the rest of society due to her poor eating decisions. And honestly, this lady right here might be my least favorite fat content creator.
Said to me, well, have you eaten? And I said, yeah, I had some pizza earlier. And they said, you need to eat something like a bit more healthy. Now, there are a few words that I don't allow when somebody comes into my house.
Lie. I do not eat healthy when I bulk. I'm bulking right now. This is my first bulk. I don't even know, bro. You know what's crazy? People wanted to make obesity a slur. When? That is a scientific word. Bitch, you are obese. If you're obese, you're obese. But look, man, all I'm gonna say is that when I'm bulking, I do not eat healthy. I just eat whatever I know that has protein in it. And if I know I'm not gonna make enough protein for that day, I make that shake. I do not eat healthy when I bulk.
And healthy is one of them.
And you know what irks me the most?
Healthy
is
is
that
a
some
word
of these
you're
fat
not allowed
content
in your
creators
house.
like her are promoting this fat lifestyle of overindulgence
Why
to their
does he have
supporters.
rugs on his wall? I'm not going
While
to
they have
judge.
trainers helping them improve their health. So instead of practicing what you preach, you're leading your supporters towards an early death while you get away scot-free. And the saddest part is that I know that a lot of these fat content creators know the repercussions of being—
What the fuck? That has no. There's no way.
that overweight. But for the sake of keeping the platform they built on glamorizing obesity, they're willing to put people's lives at risk. But I can't highlight the people who have lied to their supporters without highlighting the people who have been honest and have tried to make a positive change in their lives.
I'm 25 and being fat led me to having cancer. I know what you're thinking, Jordan. Being fat doesn't cause cancer. And you're right, it doesn't. But some of the negative repercussions of being fat can lead to you getting cancer. It was really hard for me to get on TikTok initially and talk about the fact that I had cancer that was literally caused by me being fat.
Sir.
When I have an entire audience and an entire platform dedicated to showing that your life doesn't have to suck if you are fat.
Everybody, let's clap it up for her. Let's clap it up for her. Because see, my point is, if you're a content creator that's worth their salt, you making a positive lifestyle shift isn't going to kill your content creation career.
It's actually going to help in most cases, bruh.
Those are really your supporters. They'd want the best for you anyways. And to end this video on a high note, we're going to highlight more people who have changed their life around.
Welcome to what I eat in a day as a neurodivergent, chronically ill, ex-fat acceptance influencer on Monjaro and recovery from food addiction, working on changing my lifestyle.
I am someone who consumed fat acceptance and fat liberation content for a majority of my 20s.
Okay.
And it convinced me that I should not trust doctors to the point where I did not go see a doctor even when I was extremely ill.
Okay.
Until I was 26 and pregnant with twins.
Not gonna lie, whenever I see good positive gym content, it puts a smile on my face. It does, bro.
Gestational diabetes, which is common for women who are overweight and pregnant with multiples. I have been working very hard to unlearn and deconstruct from a lot of the rhetoric and ideology around fat acceptance and fat liberation recently, and I feel like this story that I'm telling you is extremely important. Fat acceptance rhetoric is incredibly dangerous.
Now, for any people watching this who are struggling with their weight, please don't think I was trying to belittle you with this video. I truly think that you should love yourself at whatever weight that you are, but at the same time, I think you should want better for yourself, not only for you, but for the people who love you as well.
Very common misconception, but difference from being fat and obese. But there's a difference between
With that being said, if you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
What's the
subscribe to my
difference?
reaction channel, 4D Shams Live, and join my Discord. Links are in the description. We just hit 10K.
UK food, man, that was a good fucking video, bro. I'm trying to like cram in videos, bro.